Alright, Shalom, all honor and praises be unto Yahweh Bashim Shai Bashim Kodash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GreatMillStone. Shalom to the sincere and elect out there teaching this truth and faith and sincerity through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Shai. Quick point I wanna just speak on that I was thinking about at camp. And it's like, of course, we have some people out there who just ain't spiritual, man, who don't understand, things according to the scriptures. And one thing they don't understand through the spirit, which is simple and plain to the point. These people who call themselves white, if they go back to the seed of Esau, they are Edomites, man. Which of course you've got certain people out there who so-called look like black people, but through their seed are Edomites. But one person might try and say, well, some of Esau's wives were Canaanites, which are so-called South Africans. So if two of his wives were Canaanites, then what color were his seed? Then obviously they try and say, well, if the Canaanites are Africans, then that means his seeds came out mixed race and so on and so forth, and their seed and what they basically try and do is try and use that point to say these people who call themselves white are not the seed of Esau, which is a stupid point, because you clearly ain't spiritual, man. Because if you know the scriptures and understand through the spirit, the Lord had that curse of leprosy, right? Which is why their skin is so-called white, which is wasted away, which really is red, right? The actual Lord had that curse cleave onto the seed of Esau, man, right? And the quote-unquote skin tone they've got is actually a plague of leprosy, right? But the actual curse of Esau, right, goes back to Cain, man. The mark upon Cain, it's leprosy, man, right? And that same spirit of Cain is an Esau, right? Abel's offering was acceptable, man, unto the Lord. Cain's one was abominable, man. That righteous spirit and that spirit of wickedness, man, which was in Cain, right? So this is Genesis 4 and 9. And the Lord Yahweh said unto Cain, where is Abel thy brother? And he said, I know not. Am I my brother's keeper? That's right, man. And which just shows that Cain has that same spirit of Esau, man, because Cain actually put Abel to death, and Esau, after he sold his birthright, right? He actually took right? You know, after Jacob was blessed, he actually sought to actually kill him, man. That exact same spirit came back, right? And the Lord said unto Cain, where's Abel thy brother? And he said, I know not. Am I my brother's keeper? And he said, what hast thou done? The voice of thy brother's blood crieth unto me from the ground. That's right, because after he died, when he was in the spirit world, he was complaining, you know. And now all that curse from the earth, right? So at that period of time, he became the first upon the earth who was cursed, man. Right? In terms of after what he actually did, man. That mark of leprosy came upon him. He himself was the first person upon this earth who committed that act of murder, man. You know? Right? He committed that first act of murder. Now, you know, Adam went off too, but look, man, this dude went off, you know. And it says, and now, and the truth, man, Adam, you know, fell through Eve, man, you know, and through her, we actually all perish and die. But in terms of Cain, man, Cain was the first guy upon the planet to actually put someone to death unrighteously, man. You know, and what Cain was doing was just of hatred and of envy. That's why Cain got cursed, right? And part of his curse was leprosy. And now that curse from the earth, which had opened her mouth to receive thy brother's blood from thy hand, when thou tillest the ground, it shall not henceforth yield unto thee her strength. Right? And that curse over there is in place up unto this day. It says, a fugitive and a vagabond shall thou be in the earth, man. And Cain said unto the Lord, my punishment is greater than I can bear. Behold, thou hast driven me out this day from the face of the earth, and from thy face shall I be hid, and a fugitive and a vagabond in the earth. And it shall come to pass that everyone that findeth me shall slay me. And the Lord said unto him, therefore whosoever slayeth Cain, vengeance shall be taken on him sevenfold. And the Lord set a mark upon Cain, lest any finding him should kill him, man. And that mark upon Cain, right, was that mark of leprosy, man. That plague, man. You know, to just show that, look, man, this guy's wicked, man. You know, the scripture actually refers to him as a seed of the in which that the actual Heavenly Father has cursed, man. So Cain was cursed back during that time period. So when he came back as Esau, he was the first man upon the earth who was actually born with leprosy, man. Because Cain got a plague of leprosy which came upon him. But you know, when he was first born, he was dark skinned. But then that curse of leprosy got placed upon him, right? But with return to Esau, he was the first guy who was actually just born with leprosy, man. Because he was cursed from during the time period of Cain. And then after this point, you know, I actually bring out like a story which shows that it's possible for like a curse of leprosy to cleave upon a seed, right? This is Genesis 25 and 24. And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb, and the first came out red all over like an hairy garment. Now that's not saying that the baby came out hairy, right? It says red all over like an hairy garment, because I believe in Numbers it actually speaks about sheepskins or ramskins being dyed red, because that's what they actually did during that time. So it's not talking about like a baby coming out red and hairy. No, sorry. It isn't talking about a baby coming out hairy. It's talking about like a baby coming out, you know, red, you know, because he didn't have no pigment through his skin, which means he was the color, you know, of blood which flowed, you know, underneath his skin, right? You know, the capillaries and so on and so forth, you know, which, because they actually have no pigment upon their skin, it shows forth as red, right? So it says, and the first came out red all over like an hairy garment, and they called his name Esau, right? Now let's just type out white baby. See that? So when you know, Esau, you know, came off. Shit, the hell is that? I think that's a dog, man. But yeah, man, when you know, when Esau, you know, was born, he came out, man, as this, you know, just a red, fucking, you know, child, man, you know. So then, so when he came out, man, you know, his father simply said, I Shashua, which means wasted away his E, man, because his actual whole pigment is wasted away. He simply just looks dead, man. You know? Alright. So now, of course, so I already spoke upon the point about Cain being cursed and Esau being a seed that obtained that curse, which is why he was red, right? Now we go read this scripture. This is Isaiah 34 and 5. For my soul shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come upon Idumea, which is another way of saying Edom, right? So it says, for my soul shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come upon Idumea and upon the people of my curse to judgment, right? So the seed of Esau is a seed of the Heavenly Father's curse, man. And that curse is why he was called Ishashua, which means wasted away is he, right? And and that plague which he was cursed from birth was leprosy, man. That's why, you know, again, that same spirit of Cain, right? Cain, when he was cursed, obtained that mark which was leprosy, man, right? And he became as leprous as white as snow through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shai, according to the understanding which we get from Yahweh Shai through the apostles and elders of GreatMillStone, right? So that seed, right, came back as as Esau. And when he came back as Esau from birth, he had that mark of leprosy, man. Now then a person might say, well, Esau's had wives with Canaan, which if you say to the Africans means they mix, so his sons came out light skinned. So, you know, he's been mixed among these heathens. So these people who are white can't be Esau. Guess what? I'm gonna prove to you according to the scriptures. But prior to that, we actually go and get out some precepts on the plague of leprosy, right? This is Leviticus 13 and 12, and if a leprosy break out abroad in the skin, and the leprosy cover all the skin of him that have the plague from his head even to his foot, wheresoever the priest looketh, then the priest shall consider, and behold, if the leprosy have covered all his flesh, he shall pronounce him clean that have the plague. It is turned white, and he is clean, right? But when the raw flesh appeareth in him, he shall be unclean. And the priest shall see the raw flesh and pronounce him to be unclean, for the flesh is unclean. It is a leprosy. Or if the flesh turn again and it change unto white, he shall come unto the priest, and the priest shall see him, and behold, if the plague be turned into white, then the priest shall pronounce him clean that have the plague, he is clean. That's right, man. So the actual point there is in you know, is in 12. And if a leprosy break out abroad in the skin, and the leprosy cover all the skin of him that have the plague, from his head even to his foot, wheresoever the priest looketh, then the priest shall consider, and behold, if the leprosy covered all his flesh, he shall pronounce him clean that have the plague. It is turned white, he is clean. So all you people who call your actual selves white, man, you know, you're all there puffed up and proud. Really, you know, you have a plague of a lack of leprosy. You know, which in truth is a curse, man. Now, if you read in Numbers 12 and 10, right? Miriam, the sister of Moses, obtained this plague too, right? Numbers 12 and 10. And the cloud departed from off the tabernacle, and behold, Miriam, right, became leprous, white as snow, and looked upon, and Aaron looked upon Miriam, and behold, she was leprous. And Aaron said unto Moses, Alas, my Lord, I beseech thee, lay not the sin upon us wherein we have done foolishly, and wherein we have sinned. Let her not be as one dead, or one it says, let her not be as one dead, of whom the flesh is half consumed when he come out of his mother's womb. Right? So she became as leprous as white as snow. So-called white skin is leprous, man. Right? So now we're gonna go and basically explain the point. So as you see here again in Isaiah 34:5, it says, "For my soul shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come upon Idumea and upon the people of my curse." And that curse was what? That plague of leprosy, right? You know, Ishashra, quote unquote, wasted away is he. That's why the scripture says the first came out, red, man. His skin didn't have no pigment, man. Right? And if you read in the scriptures here, you actually had a guy called Gehazi, which was a part of the 12 tribes of Israel, which he got cursed, man. Right? He actually got cursed, and after he got cursed, that plague of leprosy clave onto him and onto his household. Right? But I'm gonna skip on to the point. I'm gonna just skip to the point. This is 2 Kings 5:25, which if you read the story, what practically took place is that Elisha explained to him, don't go and take any gift from the actual guy who he actually healed, right? Who himself who was a part of the 12 tribes of Israel, but he went behind his authority, so went to go and take them gifts, and after he came back, Elisha explained to him that same curse which was upon him shall be upon you and your whole household. Right? So this is 2 Kings 5:25. But he went in and stood before his master, and Elisha said unto him, Whence comest thou, Gehazi? And he said, Thy servant went no whither. And he said unto him, Went not mine heart with thee when the man turned again from his chariot to meet thee? Is it a time to receive money and to receive garments and olive yards and vineyards and sheep and oxen and men servants and maid servants? It says, the leprosy, therefore, of Naaman, right, shall cleave unto thee and unto thy seed forever. And he went out from his presence as a leper, as white as snow. So the scripture says that what? The leprosy thereof, alright, shall cleave unto him and unto his seed forever. And he even expounded that he went from his presence a leper as white as snow. So Gehazi's seed, right, which is the seed of the 12 tribes of Israel, upon this earth, right, upon this planet, they have skin, right, that is quote unquote white, which people would call albinos, which is really the actual, which really is the exact same thing. So you've actually got a seed, right, of people of the part of the 12 tribes of Israel, who all the seed that's come from that seed that's born, right, will just have leprosy, man. They're always gonna have leprosy, because guess what? The curse, right, which Elisha spoke, will just cleave onto his flesh seed, which means even though they can try and go and find like the most blackest person on the planet, so called, and try to have seed with, the seed that is always going to come through that seed of men who go back to Gehazi, right? They're always going to be so-called white. This same thing happened unto the seed of Esau, because he's a seed of the Most High's curse, right? He's the seed of the Most High's curse, which obtained that mark of leprosy, which came, during the time period it came, but really came into effect during the time of Esau, when he was born with leprosy, right? And you just had an example of a man of the 12 tribes of Israel who also got a curse of leprosy, but he was still a part of the 12 tribes of Israel. His seed, right, up until this very day, right, they obtain that curse of leprosy, man, which they can't avoid. So you've actually got people upon this planet up until this day, right, who are leprous as white as snow, right? And although they might go and find a partner out there who's so-called dark-skinned, black or whatever, they cannot obtain, they can't escape that curse of leprosy. Just as we know that the people of Esau, the seed of Esau, man, the actual Lord had that curse continue upon them and multiply. Now, of course, up until this present time and day, you have the wheat and tares. You have people, a part of the 12 tribes of Israel, who look white, so called, and you got people a part of the seed of Esau who look black, quote unquote. But the Lord had that take place for His purpose. But in terms of the seed of Esau being established and multiplied, the actual Lord had that curse take place upon the seed until they became like a really great people, a nation, right? But then, of course, now you have the wheat and tares, because the actual Lord had that take place for His purpose sake. But the point I'm saying is that you can't use the fact that Esau took, wives of Canaan to say that, okay, it means that the people who call themselves white ain't the seed of Esau. This is Genesis 36:2. Esau took his wives of the daughters of Canaan. Ada, daughter of Elon the Hittite, and Aholibama, the daughter of Anna, the daughter of Zibeon the Hivite, and Bashemath Ishmael's daughter, sister of Nebajoth. You know, so like, you know, you have people who obviously try and say, because he took his wives out of the daughters of Canaan, you know, it means that his seed weren't so-called people who call themselves white. No, the actual Lord had that plague, right? That curse of being that so-called that skin tone, you know, come upon that seed, man. You know, until, you know, the actual Lord, you know, seemed a fit for you know, the wheat and tares to obviously happen and take place. So hopefully you brothers have been edified, man. And with that, I'm gonna say all honor and praise be to Yahweh Shemar Shai. Double honors those apostles and elders of GreatMillStone. And with that, I'm gonna say shalom.